Welcome to the Afterglow podcast, a space to practice Yoga Nidra informed by the ideas of Carl Jung and internal family systems. Each week we will work on a different life theme, giving us the opportunity to discover vast inner landscapes, sitting with all that life has to offer as we explore who we are. May the afterglow be as bright as the journey is deep. This episode will be very short. I'm just going to give some outlines for doing quick Yoga Nidras, and I'll let you get to it. Afterglow Yogic Sleep Yoga Nidras are usually very specific in theme, especially these part 1 companion episodes, and they're a great way to get a sense of the context to the actual Yoga Nidra practices in part 2. And these part 1 companion episodes are always informed by depth psychology, specifically Jungian concepts and internal family systems. However, I'm aware that sometimes we don't want to take a whole hour to sit in Yoga Nidra and work on ourselves, but we do want something just to ground, to check in, to get back to ourselves. In some of my previous episodes, specifically the one on anxiety is a good example. And then also the very first one, episode 1, which is an introduction to Yoga Nidra. I talk about ways in which we can regularly dip into the state, dip into our company, our own company within our own minds. And I don't think that we need to do all of these steps of Yoga Nidra just to connect. I think that sometimes it is incredibly valuable to be able to just close our eyes and cast an awareness inside and say, I'm here. What's happening? How's it all going in here? See what comes forward. Inner child work is another. I've had 2 episodes already on inner child work, and that's another example of how I explain ways in which you can do practices with no big build up, no Yoga Nidra steps into it. You can just get comfortable enough to just go straight into these very familiar spaces. But it really does help, obviously, to build up that familiarity. Doing these deep dives is really important. Having a specific focus. Whether it's something like the birthing one that I did recently, where you're building up a familiarity, you're building up a practice towards a very specific event, or whether it's something more nebulous, these practices are all adding into this world that we're building for ourselves, this inner world. And it is so rich and so full of comfort and internal courage. In Jungian terms, a good metaphor that could be used, this is not my metaphor, but I've heard it a few times within Jungian spaces. The ego is so bright, the conscious mind is so strong. It's a bit like the sun. And we need to turn the sun off for a while. The sun needs to disappear behind us so that we can see stars, so that we can see the Milky Way, so that we can see the moon better, or maybe even aurora and shooting stars. There is a whole wonderful world happening in our night sky all of the time that we cannot access because the sun is just so bright. And there is a very good argument to be made for taking our heavy duty, big impact, critical minds and just turning them on a dimmer switch for a while so that we can let the unconscious come through and reveal itself to us, so that we can discover and internalize a whole other part of ourselves that is always there. It's constantly on show. So when we are wanting something like this practice, which is just a 20-minute quick Yoga Nidra, it's much more powerful than it might seem. There is no specific theme to this. It has an aesthetic scene or theme, as you will discover when you do it, and maybe some of my metaphors in this part 1 are already hinting to what it might be, but it is no small thing to have a quick moment of interacting with ourselves. As I've said before, and I'll keep saying it, you don't need me for Yoga Nidra. You don't need anyone for anything when it comes to getting in touch with yourself and discovering your unconscious mind in a really comfortable setting that is richly rewarding and completely just enhances our sense of self. But I also know that just because we can do it doesn't mean we do. So my hope is that in providing these different doorways, more and more people will choose to discover what it means to sit with themselves, to go within, to spend time within their own minds. So I say all of that because I think I'm wanting to front load this shortened Yoga Nidra that I'm going to be posting for part 2 by saying, don't let its size fool you. The impact of regularly doing a short Yoga Nidra is profound and can offer unbelievable insights. And those insights don't have to be intellectual, just to keep reminding you that this the blindingness of our conscious ego minds and wanting to be hyper intellectual and critically thinking is amazing, but it is in great need of being balanced out by the much more muted, gentle, wordless world of the unconscious. And it's so easy, it's so easy to entirely disregard it. So making a regular practice, however suits you, I'm going to continually provide different options. People can figure out what works, what doesn't work for them. Maybe you like doing a short Yoga Nidra at the beginning of your day, before you get out of bed, before you even open your eyes. You can do it without this recording. You know, once you have a sense of this stuff, you can easily do it with just your own thoughts. Maybe you prefer to do it at night. Maybe you like to do it in the middle of the day. Maybe you like to do it once a week on a Sunday evening as a way to just mark your placement in the week. Whatever it is that helps you feel like you're not failing at yet another wellness technique, and that you're also not overdoing it and trying to spend so much time in your unconscious mind that it's like exhausting for you both. Yeah, just whatever works. It's okay, and you know, these things always change anyway. So yeah, you can do this at your desk. You can do this lying in bed. You can do this on a yoga mat with a pillow under your head and a blanket over it. However you feel works for you best, then great. And you can listen to the Yoga Nidra, the quick 20-minute Yoga Nidra, as many times as you like. You can do this every day. You can do it once a week. And I also, if you don't like listening to the recordings too much, try, or even if you don't know, just try doing it in your own head, see how that works. I think ultimately the point is that people just feel so comfortable and relaxed and familiar with that space that they don't need any recording, they don't need any external support. But for as long as you need it, use these. That's great. It's very possible that you'll listen to something like this quick 20-minute Yoga Nidra that will be part of part 2. It's very possible that you'll listen to something like that maybe once or twice, and then you think, great, I've got a strong enough sense of this that I can do it on my own, and that's what you do, and then you go from there. Sometimes it is really nice to listen to a recording because you can just switch off even more. It's really whatever works. The Yoga Nidra in part 2, I would like to shine the light on my Yoga Nidra teacher that I did my training with, Swami Yoga Ratna Saraswati. This Yoga Nidra is loosely based on a similar advanced Yoga Nidra practice that she does. It's not exactly the same, but it's very, very heavily inspired by. So I would very much like to just sort of shine a light on her. And yeah, I hope that the experience provides you with a sense of calm and ease as you continue throughout your day. I hope you enjoy it, and thank you. Thank you for joining us for this weekly companion episode. It really does add to the experience that you will have in Yoga Nidra. The Yoga Nidra will be uploaded in a few days, giving you time to reflect on the questions that I've asked you. Please subscribe to receive notifications for this new Yoga Nidra episode, as well as for future ones. Thank you for adding your light and kindness to the world, and for doing this important inner work. May the afterglow be as bright as the journey is deep. See you soon.